There's a variety of tools at his disposal that he used to influence. And I find in Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 through 15, we are told, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. You're the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick it giveth light unto all the house." So the salt of the earth literally refers to influence. The influence that salt would have on other items, meat and other things, to keep it from going bad. Metaphorically speaking of Christians, we are also influencers. God has called us to be influencers. Influence with our love, the greatest commandment. Influence with truth, because you can't get to Christ without truth. Influence with action. Don't be passive. Be active in our discipleship, following of Christ, and active in our leadership. The salt of the earth, and then it says, "Ye are the light of the world." You can't hide under a bushel and influence. And if you as a Christian are hiding, you're not going to influence people. They're not going to know you're there. And so as men, are we available to our wives? Are we available to our children? Are we available to people, or are we hiding our light in a bushel, hiding our influence? We're told in Proverbs 22, verse 6, "Train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it." That I believe the power, the impact of influence on a child is massive. It is easier to impact and influence a child to success than to start over with an adult and try to pick up the pieces of their life and help them put it back together, you might say. It's easier to start with the child. By the way, the unsaved, the world, Satan knows this. You read, communist books and literature, and they talk often about the need to start with children.
I was gonna say that's like their foundational.
That's their one of their foundational philosophies is to influence children, so that you are raising up a generation of followers. And so we as Christians, we just, I don't understand, we miss that. We think that, oh yeah, they're going to be okay. They know we love them. They know everything. They know the truth, and the world is just influencing through social media, through entertainment, through the school system. So many points of impact, so many points of influence, and then we're shocked that children grow up and are not the leaders, the spiritual leaders we hoped they would be. Well, we weren't the salt and light in their life. The world was. We weren't training them up. We weren't influencing. The world was. And so they're going to become what they were influenced to become by the world. Christians, let's influence children towards truth. Influence children with love. Let's influence each other through truth and with love. And then in Titus chapter 2, verse 6, it says, "Young men likewise exhort, encourage, influence," you might say, "to be sober-minded." To think critically. That word sober-minded has the idea of not being drunk, not being simple-minded, not being unaware of your surrounding, but to be a thinker, to be a critical thinker. Influence, exhort men, young men, to use this, not this. Because so many leaders follow your dreams, follow your hopes. They're just influencing to use this, where God says, no, I gave you this for a reason. Put it to work. Let's lead men, young men, to be leaders with this. Ethan, any final thoughts?
I would just say that I heard it said some of the most dangerous people in the world are those who don't realize that they have influence, because they live life in a way that's like, nobody's watching me, no one cares what I'm doing, and a lot of these people do really stupid stuff. And those people happen to be parents or seniors in high school, and everyone's looking at them.
You're right.
Or they happen to be community, they happen to be people who are, I'm just a teacher in a classroom, so I teach this class, and then I go home and whatever. And they don't realize that you being in the front of the room inherently means you're influencing them. And, I was just thinking of, we had a high school small group meet like 2-3 weeks ago. I had a girl tell me that, like, they caught their teacher, like, doing stuff on his phone, and and he doesn't realize like, the people are watching him.
That's not here.
No, not here.
Okay, not at Mid-State. Let's
Yeah,
clarify.
Yeah, a girl who goes to public high school in one of the local towns. She said one of her teachers, her friends caught out on camera, like he was doing stuff on his phone. He doesn't realize these people around me, they might not seem like they like care about me, but they are watching what I do. I'm influencing them, and so those are some of the most dangerous people. They also can be some of the most effective people because they are leading, and if they're doing it right, they're living life the right way, and they're leading through example in a way that's not prideful.
Because they don't even know it.
Right.
Yes, that's an interesting point. So here's the thing. People, children especially, are going to be influenced. You cannot stop that from happening.
100%.
They're going to be influenced. Adults are going to be influenced. The only way to stop that is to end life. If they're alive, if I'm alive, if you're alive, we're going to be influenced. That's just how it is. So, let's just say, for example, that someone who's unsaved is listening to this, and they say, you Christians, bunch of crazy people talking about, influencing children, and how dare you destroy children. That's what's going to run through their head. Here's the truth. Someone's going to influence those children. They just don't like the idea that it might be us, Christians. They want to influence the children. I mean, come on. Look at Disney. And look at Disney's response to the law in Florida passed, right? And we're not going to get into that, but just politically, when governors do stand up for children, man, the world goes crazy. How dare you keep us from influencing children? How dare you not let us, put into a third grader's mind, a kindergartner's mind, sexuality and human sexuality and transgenderism. How dare you not let us have this conversation with a 5-year-old? What's wrong with you? You're crazy. You crazy Governor DeSantis, So they don't like the idea of anyone influencing children but them. When I say them, those who want to influence children towards evil. Mm-hmm. They would call us crazy, manipulative, cultish, that we would take the mind of a child and influence, but they will do it immediately. They just don't want anyone else doing it. So here's the truth, Christian. Here's the truth, men. You will be influenced. Your wife will be influenced. Your child will be influenced. Who's going to do the influencing? Are you going to let the world bully you into silence so that they can influence your family? Are we as a church going to let the world bully us, shame us into silence because, we don't want to be a cult, so let's not influence children? We don't want to come across as crazy, so let's not give truth to children. Let's just shut up and let the experts influence children. Well, that word expert depends on who you're talking to, right? And so the world wants to be the expert, and they want Christians to shut up. I'm done. I mean, I never really started shutting up, but I'm done with Christians shutting up. It's time for us to stand up, speak up, and influence the next generation for Christ. Influence the next generation to truth with love. Yep. Speaking the truth in love. To be the salt and the light. Because every day you do not influence your family, someone else did.
Yep.
And so, men, if you want to be a strong influence, if you want to lead leaders, then who are you following? Who am I following? Well, ultimately, I'm following Christ. There are other men and women both that I highly respect, that I listen to. I wouldn't say that I'm their disciple in any way, that I follow them, but I surround myself with strong personalities on purpose. Our church trustee board, strong personalities. Some of them are sitting right here. You guys are not weak personalities. Our church school board, strong personalities. We got strong personalities on that school board, don't we, Ethan?
Oh, yes.
Our church pastoral staff, strong personalities. So I surround myself with men and women who are strong leaders. That keeps me sharp. It allows me to be influenced positively. And then I, in turn, influence others. And I encourage you to do the same. Don't be scared of leaders. Rejoice in leaders. And rejoice that you can be one of them. And try to keep yourself from being the only one of them. Because if you're in a room and you're the only leader, there's a problem there. All right, Ethan, we're going to wrap it up. Anything else?
That was it. I'm all wisdomed out.
All wisdom out. We hope you can join us next time as we get together and talk about the law of process. And thank you for joining us. We are sorry for the issues we had tonight online with our audio. We will check into what happened and make sure that does not happen again to the best of our ability. Hope you have a great night. We'll see you next Sunday.